It's the day before E3 and a very special phone conversation is taking place. Ohayou gozaimasu, Phil. We at Nintendo would like to use the character Banjo-Kazooie for Smash Brothers. It would really help and delight our fans. No problem, Kazumi-san. I mean, we ain't using him. But I was wondering, in exchange, could we use your character Super Mario for... Hello? Hello? Oh, the line must have got cut. Hello YouTube, it's your host Axel Rose, aka the Bilderberg Boy, and you are now watching MVP Magazine. And today we are going to be talking about Nintendo's direct conference of E3. And to tell the truth, we knew they was going to do well, but they actually did so well, they actually kind of spoiled my video because I've got no satirical, mean comments to make actually, so this video is going to be pretty much straightforward. Now, even though Nintendo don't physically attend E3 anymore, they still know its core concept, having great games. Your own games, Microsoft. And even though some people may think that Nintendo are guilty of going back to their well of well-established franchises and generally milking titles, it seems that this year more than others, they definitely got the hang of incorporating other third parties into the mix of their already strong lineup. And I'm really happy they're getting their third party relationship content right. They're not just coughing up big amounts of cash for exclusives, timed or permanent, they're actually looking back into their arcade and home console history to bring us concepts that we would really appreciate. Things like the Contra collection and a brand new Contra game reeks of Nintendo and nostalgia, and this is exactly the kind of thing they should be going for. And when they released Blaster Master Zero at the beginning of the Switch, I had the feeling that this would be the direction they were heading in, and I'm so happy they are continuing to give us this kind of Nintendo quality content, darn it, we're rolling with that, content that is actually fueled by nostalgia and great gameplay. This also gives them more of a brand identity. They're not just going for any old game that is from a third-party developer. They're going for games which are uniquely the Nintendo brand, and this can only serve to do the company well, whether you're a fan of these titles or not. A perfect example of my point is the announcement of a Panzer Dragoon remake. Now this is exciting news to see Nintendo teaming up with their old rival Sega and bringing a remake of one of the classic games from their heyday. I've actually still got my original copy from back in the day when the Sega Saturn first released. And to see this franchise come back after all this time, especially the fact that it's got updated graphics and controls, is a godsend, and I really hope this works and we get to see new, fresher titles in this series. Nintendo also looked like it struck more gaming gold with the announcement of a new title in the No More Heroes franchise, and unlike Travis Strikes Back, it looks like it will be returning to its hack and slash, gore-filled, tongue-in-cheek roots, which is what we love about this game. And it just goes to show again, Nintendo knows what its fans want and it will deliver it. Post haste, EMS expedited shipping, real fast, in your mouth. Its own games, Microsoft. Now, as far as Nintendo's tentpole and more flagship franchises, in some ways they kind of played it safe, but they did enough to make you at least intrigued. For instance, I'm not that much of a big fan of the whole Luigi's Mansion thing. I bought the first one on the GameCube and pretty much fell off from there. But some of the new additions and the way they take and make use of the Nintendo Switch's unique setups with the whole Goigi and multiplayer functions has got me slightly intrigued. Pokemon Sword and Shield, now for me personally, Initially, I was more hyped about this 2 years ago because it did seem like they was going to make more of a departure from what we see on the 3DS and cater more to the Generation 1 owners like myself. But it seems that we're going to be getting more of the same with updated graphics and a slightly bigger world. And I'm not sure if the whole make your Pokemon grow to a giant size is just enough of a departure from what we have before to generally say that this is something completely new and different. Now, that being said, this still looks like it has a lot of promise. Me personally, I'm just not as excited as I was about it 2 years ago. Now, I'll probably still be picking this up, but I'm not going to be getting both versions like on the jump like I thought I would be. Who knows though, because I do have like 3 Nintendo Switches in my house, so but anyway, that being said, Zelda Link's Awakening definitely looks cool. Loving the new cartoony, cutesy vibe to the game. This game takes me right back to my childhood. I remember this being the first Zelda game I played on my Game Boy back in the day and absolutely loving it and not being able to finish it because I was a stupid little kid. So I am really excited about being able to play this game and actually understand what's going on because my brain's developed slightly more, and yeah, gonna be great. And I especially love the dungeon creation feature. Hopefully it's got an online mode so we can upload it to the cloud, the server, and make other people scratch their brains out just trying to tackle and master our dungeons. It seems really cool. And Ultimate Alliance Marvel seems really cool. It seems like they do all the characters justice, and I love the fact that they've got a myriad of characters in this game. I personally can't wait to get my hands on it. And speaking of their core franchises, it seems that the heavily successful Breath of the Wild will be getting a direct sequel, which is very interesting because this is going to be one of the first times a Zelda game has ever gotten a direct sequel. And it looks like you will be able to play as Zelda as well as Link, which will be awesome because now the game will actually live up to its title, The Legend of Zelda. And to tell the truth, I would much prefer, a playable Zelda than that nonsense Linko character they came out with a while ago. Scrap that, throw it in a bin, burn that bin, shoot that bin while it is burning, and watch the explosion happen in a cool slow-mo 80s kind of style. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, definitely feeling this. I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna ruin my gamer card, but hey, I still haven't finished the original Breath of the Wild, and that's because I'm trying to tackle all of the content, and I bought the DLC, and I just want that game to last. I've been savoring that game. That game completely took over my life when I first started playing it. Like, I love Breath of the Wild. I've actually started it on 2 separate Nintendo Switches, got the Master Sword on both, Master Sword remix, and I love that game. I love that game. So now that I know that this is on its way, I can actually finally go back and start devoting some time to finishing the masterpiece, which is the first one. So yeah, definitely on board for that. Like, I didn't even need to see anything more from the trailer. And I am really happy that they're reusing the original game's assets because, to be honest, that game has so much. Oh my gosh, I'm waffling about this game. That's how much it's got to me. Okay, let's move on. Now, Astral Chain has been on my radar the second it was announced, and it looks like it's going to be more of what we expect from Platinum Games. High octane, very stylish gameplay. Now, in my opinion, I'm very scared for this game not selling because, it's by Platinum Games, and it just looks like it may be a little bit too hardcore and too cerebral for the average Nintendo fan, and I really hope I get proven wrong when this game does release. But it is definitely one of my most anticipated games, not just on the Switch, but of the whole year in general. Can't wait to play this. Nintendo once again shows their new allegiance to third party by bringing games like The Witcher to Switch. Now, this game caters to a totally different market then the Conquerors, the Panzer Dragoons, and even the Astral Chains. Now, even though I haven't been that much of a personal fan of The Witcher over the years, I definitely can appreciate the technical marvel getting this big game on this little console is. And I can also appreciate the fact that we're gonna be probably still paying full price for a game that's over 4 years old. Darn you, Nintendo Switch tax. And of course, last but not least, we have Banjo-Kazooie making its way to Smash Brothers. Finally! Yep. So yep, I'd definitely say Nintendo had a stellar showing, one of their best in years actually, to tell the truth. They had a plethora of titles, whether it's multi-plats and exclusives, and there's even a whole load of stuff I didn't mention. But this was just a highlights, and I think they did really well, like really well. You know, wait, $30 for Resident Evil 6?